popo thing is water paper, but this motherfucking Grey Goose, baby.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates had a place to call home. Look no further. It's the D-Gen Podcast.
NFL Week 2 picks here on the D-Gen Podcast. Super excited. Before we get into it, though, this podcast presented to you by Sleeper. Go to Sleeper. Use that promo code RF-DGen Podcast. You're going to get 100% deposit match on your first deposit up to $100. Mikey, I actually golfed this weekend at a tournament. Didn't get the whole round in because of golf, but I will say 7 holes deep, I did play well, and I played even better, knowing how good I felt in my Sunday Swagger. That's right. If you guys go to sundayswagger.com, use the next promo code of DGen15 at checkout, 15% off your entire bag. The only thing better than that, Mikey Rom, these days is 8 cans, 4 flavors, the Cape Cod Crab Cocktail Variety Pack. Sheesh. In the house here on the D-Gen Podcast. Good times. Good times call for what flavor?
Just give me any.
All right. We haven't had the yellow can in quite a while. A little white rum ginger. These are, disclaimer, these are warm.
Doesn't matter.
I forgot to put them in the fridge, but we're going to swig them back anyways.
Well, this is a real test of a fucking seltzer if it tastes all right warm. Let's see.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm here for it.
Not bad, honestly, for being warm. So,
room temp, we're here. Week 1. Mikey,
bloodbath.
There were some ups, there were some downs, there was some bloodshed. There's a lot of different emotional roller coasters in certain games. But your record,
yeah,
a little 8-10 action, a little sub 500 action. How do you feel after week 1?
44%. Listen, it was a bad week 1. My 2 more locks. I'm just gonna say it myself because I know you're gonna bring it up. The teams I bet on just forgot how to play football. Steelers just didn't show up. Bengals, again, just forgot how to play football. So it was a bad week 1, overreaction week 1. We're going to be better week 2. We're going to be better. 8-10 is recoverable from. It's not like a 3-15 or something like that. So
as a wise man once told me, it is not how you start. It is how you finish.
True.
In week 2, we finished stronger than we finished week 1. Kicking off, though, Thursday Night Football. The Minnesota Vikings, I'm not sure about you. I know a lot of people, producer here, Justin Fine, shout out, got fucked by the Vikings, including myself.
Yeah.
Were you part of the bloodbath with the Vikings?
I mean, that was part of the day. I don't know what is wrong with them. I can't put my finger on it because they move the ball great. They up and down the field, they just couldn't finish. Kirk Cousins just makes weird Kirk Cousins decision. Not usual for 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins. I was very disappointed in 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins. I was actually throwing stuff.
Is 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins no longer?
It could be.
No longer?
He might have fell off the cliff. We'll see.
I really hope not, because he's playing the Eagles in Philadelphia week 2. Right now, Vikings +7, +260 on the money line. The total sitting at 48.5. Eagles -320 on the money line. Eagles cover the spread last week against the Patriots. Shout out, by the way, the Pats.
Thank you.
I am absolute Pat hater, even though I'm from Boston, from New England. But I got to show the boys some respect. They showed up. They didn't win. They didn't cover, but they played competitive. So now your boys in the bandwagon with the Patriot swag. But back to the topic at hand. Eagles, Vikings, where are we at with this one? Week 2.
Yeah. The Eagles didn't look great. The Pats did hang in. I feel like they should have won that game. So I think the Eagles are going to start a little bit of that Super Bowl hangover, obviously. The Vikings looked really bad. They should have won that game easily. But it's week 2. I'm not going to overreact too bad. I think the Eagles will definitely win this game. There's no doubt in my mind that they will win this game. But I do think 7 points is a lot of points. I think the Vikings, honestly, are probably losing by 13 with 2 minutes left, and they get a backdoor cover, a meaningless touchdown at the end to fucking Kirk Cousins rolls out and fucking runs one in and throws the ball and is happy. So, I'm going to take Vikings +7, but I'm very, very confident the Eagles will win this game.
So, I hate to be I'm the same kind of thought process as you, because sometimes the best thing about this podcast is different opinions, but I really am like in the same position as you here. I feel like the Eagles kind of slipped through New England with the win. The Vikings, I'm not really sure what happened against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs.
Makes no sense.
It really doesn't. I understand they lost Alvin Cook, but like is Alexander Madison, as much as I've dogged him a little bit, that big of a drop off? I don't think so. Not enough where the offense should be skipping that much of a beat. Also, Adam Thielen gone. Jordan Addison, you would think suitable, younger, more athletic replacement. Didn't really do what I thought he was going to or hope he was going to do. With that being said, I'm looking for them to put up more points, more than 17, against an Eagles team that lost roughly about 75% of their defense from last year. Clearly, you saw them at certain points against the Patriots a little vulnerable at times. Patriots don't exactly have a good offense. I don't think they're any better than the Vikings. So for at +7, this is probably going to move. At +7, I like it.
Yeah. This will probably close at +8, honestly.
I think the public's going to shift to the Eagles, but right now, surprisingly, the public's leaning more towards the Vikings. Not by much. 56% as of right now on the Vikings. But with that being said, I think that it's early in the week. A lot of money hasn't came in yet. A lot of public bettors are going to be betting the Eagles, especially at home. First game of the season. Anyways, moving on. The first Sunday game of the slate, week 2, Green Bay Packers, who impressed me, Mikey.
Yes.
On the road against the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons are +1.5 home dogs. +106 on the money line. 48.5 is the total. Both teams covered last week. Aaron Jones, a little bit gimpy, we'll say, came up with the hamstring injury at some point there during the Green Bay Packers Bears game. He should be fine, though. Where are you at with this?
Yeah, so this is a line that doesn't really make much sense to me, which makes me nervous. Obviously, I mean, I don't know if you've watched any of that Falcons game, but they really didn't play well, like at all. They looked, I mean, Desmond Ridder did not look good. He was dinking and dunking down the field. Obviously, their run game is very good. Bijan Robinson, I don't know if you saw that touchdown he scored where he fucking juked the fuck out of that one guy. And
I didn't watch any Falcons.
Dude, it was insane. He is going to be insane. But, overall, they didn't play great. They won by 2 touchdowns. It's hard to say like, oh, they didn't play great, but they didn't if you watch the game. So, conversely, the Packers played great, I thought. I thought Jordan Love really took advantage of his first kind of time in the spotlight. You know, he had a great day. The offense looked in sync. The defense looked, they made some turnovers. The Bears are the Bears. We'll get into that a little bit later. I fucking fuck the Bears. But, yeah. I think this line should be close to like -3, -4 for the Packers. So -1.5, I'm taking that all day.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be scared off this line because they're going to think, oh, Vegas is up to something. I look at this game and I'm like, all right, were the Panthers that bad or were the Bears that bad, right?
Yeah.
Against the opposing teams here that we have in this matchup. I think the Panthers are a lot worse than the Falcons. In that game, like you said, the Falcons didn't play outstanding. They're going to get a much tougher opponent than the Green Bay Packers. I feel like the Bears are a tougher opponent than the Panthers. With that being said, it's a lot of mixing and matching, but I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to make the Atlanta Falcons look fucking inferior in this matchup. And to be honest, I might even tease this up, actually, to like -2.5 and try to get a little bit of extra juice for my, bang for my buck here. Also, I think the total's a little bit interesting. 38 points Green Bay last week on their own. Not saying that the Bears have a much better or equal to defense of the Atlanta Falcons, but I think the Green Bay Packers put up big points this week. Yep. Again, for that reason, I actually like the total too at 40.5 over.
I like that. Okay.
Moving on, Chicago Bears last week. Obviously, we just talked about them. Lost to the Green Bay Packers, taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tampa Bay Bucks at home, -3 on the spread, 154 on the money line. 41.5 is a total, Mikey. Where are we at with this game?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you have. What do you think first?
All right, so Chicago Bears, right? I understand they didn't show up really against the Packers. That was a very tough week 1 assignment, I think, divisional game. But I don't think the Bucks for winning against the Vikings are as good as they really are. I think that it was a week where the Vikings just weren't ready. I think they didn't show up. It's plain and simple. I don't think it's a matter of
maybe
the Bucks.
looking ahead, maybe
possible look ahead spot. Yes,
to the Eagles. Yeah,
I think that the Bucks here are the total wrong side of the play. 73% of the money is coming in on the Bucks right now.
That's insane.
A lot of love, a lot of hype after beating the Vikings last week. A lot of doubt on the Chicago Bears for losing so badly to the Green Bay Packers. There's a This is a perfect spot to just hammer Justin Fields and the Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I thought you might go the other way. That's why I wanted to hear your opinion first, but I agree 100%. This is just a huge letdown spot for the Bucs, right? Like, they come in, they're big underdogs. They pull off this miraculous win. They look pretty good doing it. Maybe Baker Mayfield can get us through the year. Like maybe there's something there. I just think it's a huge letdown spot, like you said, for them. I think they probably come in flat. And I think the Bears, as bad as they looked at times against the Packers, like I was just saying, they did have some bright spots. Justin Fields definitely missed some throws, but he's still a dynamic athlete and can definitely score points, I feel like, when they need to. So, yeah, I'm rolling with the Bears, too. I actually really like this. I like this pick.
This might be lockable. I've actually yet to physically write down any locks on any of my paper, any of my notes, because I'm just going to be off the hip with it this
love
week.
that.
Totally.
The 2-0 man just goes off the hip. I like that.
Fucking draw, dude. The 2-0 man undefeated, just catching heat, catching fire. Steph Curry from the arc, just watch her go in. Yeah, I might be, might already wheels be turning on this right now.
All right.
Seahawks on the road against the Detroit Lions. This game gets me a little bit fired up, Mikey. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks, kind of a funky line, +5.5, +190 on the money line, 49 is the total, -235 on the money line for the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions last week, obviously a huge win against the Chiefs, but was it really a huge win against the Chiefs?
Yeah.
No Kelsey. Tony just, I don't know what's up with Kadarius Toney, man. Absolutely turned into a gargoyle, just frozen statue, stone hands. I don't know where or how that became a thing. I thought he was a pretty solid player. A lot of guys took him early in fantasy, thinking he's going to be number one behind Kelsey, a la Mikey Rom. And he shit himself all over the place. So the Detroit Lions, in fact, got a lot of help. I still think that even with Kelsey playing, Tony not being a complete fucking piece of shit, I think that the Detroit Lions still end up covering that game regardless. It was +6.5. Mm-hmm. But to get the money line, I mean, holy shit. That was a nice hit for me anyways. I don't know about you.
Yeah, same.
Seahawks in the hand let me down big last week. Didn't help that Tyler Lockett left the game with concussion. He's in concussion protocol right now, so we don't even know if he's going to be active just yet for this game. It is a dome game. 62% of the money coming on the Lions right now. Are we with the public or are we fading?
So I think I'm going to roll with the public here. But driving over here, I am a little bit afraid. Just because the Seahawks looked really bad. I feel like a lot of people expected them to kind of handle the Rams pretty easily and continue that momentum from last year. But the Seahawks looked like the Seahawks looked at the end of the year last year, which is, I feel like, more concerning, right? End of the year last year, Geno Smith kind of coming back to earth, kind of turning back into what he was for most of his career, and he did not have a good day week one. And like you said, Lockett with potentially out. Obviously, Metcalf's an elite player, and their run game's pretty good, but they did not look good on offense. They looked out of sync. But the Lions didn't really look great either, honestly.
Wait, time out. Can we actually rewind to, speaking of the Lions not looking great, Jahmyr Gibbs, just I get it, Dave Montgomery, the veteran.
Oh, yeah.
They say, hey, we're having him in there for pass blocking, gets put on his fucking ass. I don't know if you saw that. Just absolutely just punched in the fucking mouth, on his ass.
Welcome to the NFL.
Gave up a sack. No, David Montgomery, not Jahmyr Gibbs, sat on his ass. Jahmyr Gibbs rips off a 16-yard run and immediately gets benched. I don't know where Dan Campbell's thought process was with Jahmyr Gibbs in the playing time. But I was shocked, especially as a fantasy owner. I was fucking shocked. And I was pissed.
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of alluded to. I feel like they were holding back a little bit. Week one, being more conservative. I think we're going to see a lot more Jahmyr Gibbs this week. I think he's going to be heavily factored into their game plan. So I'm going to lay the points here at 5.5. If this goes up to 6.5, I would probably just stay away from this game. But DJ Podcast, pick every game. I'm going to roll with the Lions at 5.5.
So this is the first game that we're actually disagreeing here on this episode. So I'm actually on the Seahawks +5.5. I'm going to tell you why. All right. Just like the Vikings, they underperformed week one. There was a lot of hype around both teams, and particularly Jordan Addison, rookie. Vikings didn't perform. Jackson Smith and Jigba, new RCU for the Seahawks as well. Rookie did not really perform. I think that you see a step up in his play because Tyler Lockett is now questionable. If he plays, then obviously that backpedals a little bit, that take. But if he doesn't, I think that you see him step up. And I think that, honestly, he has the ability to be just as good, if not better than Tyler Lockett. I think that throws a wrinkle in the game plan for the Detroit Lions. I think that because of that, it kind of gives them an opportunity to expose some matchups that maybe people are overlooking. For that reason, I actually do like the Seattle Seahawks plus 5.5. And low-key, people are sleeping on the total. It's actually the second highest total in the slate at 49.
Really?
I kind of like the under here. As shocking as that is,
I don't hate that. That's not bad.
I'm not. It's more of a lean than a pick, but I'm not hating that. Moving on now, Buffalo Bills. I mean,
Tough.
man,
Tough
that's
for the Bills.
tough.
Tough
That's
for the
tough.
Bills.
Very, very tough. Okay, ready? What was it tougher for? The Bills losing that game last night, or tougher for the Jets losing
I mean, it's
Aaron
the
Rodgers?
Jets, obviously, but yeah, the Bills needed to win that game. Josh Allen did not look good. You know, he seemed like the Josh Allen from like his first year, and like the Josh Allen from like Wyoming, just like throwing the ball downfield, just huck it, chuck it, football, fucking send it down the field. Somebody's down there. I don't think people are really giving enough credence to Brian Daboll leaving the Bills and going somewhere else, and Josh Allen kind of being left on his own to kind of like, okay, Josh Allen, go do your thing. Like, you can't let him do that. He's just going to go crazy and like run around and throw the ball and throw picks. So I think the Bills need to like figure that out quickly.
So that first interception that he threw, it was like down the middle of the field.
The punt?
Yeah, essentially a punt.
Yeah.
It just reminded me, it's like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Like, hey, Napoleon, I can throw the ball over the mountains over there. And just like,
It's so
just
true.
fucking just threw it. And that was it. Like, there was no like intent of hitting any receiver at all. There was nobody even like close within like 5, maybe even 7 yards. I digress. They're at home taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Huge spread. Everyone is like really just not a fan of the Raiders, and I don't know why. I mean, they're a solid team in my opinion, but they're catching plus 8.5 points on the road, plus 320 in the money line, 47.5 as a total. Mike, should the Raiders be catching this many points on the road in Buffalo after a very just heartbreaking loss to the Jets?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of points. I think the Raiders played pretty good though. And I think that people are just banking on the Bills to just fucking be like, all right, we fucked around week 1, week 2, time to get back on track against a team we should definitely handle. So that's where I think the spread's coming. But honestly, I'm afraid of this spread. So when in doubt, take the over. I'm going over here. Over 47.5 is the play. I'm not messing with the numbers here.
So I think that a Buffalo Bills team that looks very stagnant at times against one of, if not the best defenses in the league, right? I think we can call them at this point after what they did last year, and then also just week 1, just really holding the line in a game where it could have got away from them really fast.
Yeah.
With that being said, the Buffalo Bills, I wasn't super thrilled with how they ran the offense, how Josh Allen controlled the ball. Obviously, it's a big drop off for the Las Vegas Raiders and their defense, but I think that, you know, offensively, it's a step up. I think that Jimmy G, not going to light the world on fire, as I like to say all the time here on the podcast, but he's not going to throw the ball away. He's not going to throw the ball away. And I think that plus 8.5, the total, under 47.5, are both very much in play here. Again, these are leans, 100%. These are not like go bet them right now lines, but I think if anything in this game, I'd probably lean more the total going under 47.5, just because the Raiders aren't going to put up a ton of points in my opinion. And I think the Bills still have a little bit of a hangover from last game.
All right. I like it.
Moving on to the next Sunday 1:00 game, Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Tennessee plus 3 home dogs, plus 144 on the money line, 45.5 is the total. Mikey Rom, and I'll tell you what, this might be the one game this week that has me cheesing because I'm so fucking excited to watch this. My boy last week, Mike Vrabel, packing a lip, packing that zen in his mouth. Just he meant business. They came up short, unfortunately. They covered the spread. I like him this week. Money line.
Okay.
Mikey Rom at plus 144.
All right.
I think that their defense totally overlooked. They have a very good defense this year, first and foremost. LA Chargers obviously have a very good offense, right? I think this is a clash in that regard. I think where you're going to see the X factor of this game play out is the Chargers defense versus the Titans offense. What does that matchup do? I think the Titans get the better of that matchup. I think that for as good of a rush as the Chargers have, I think that because of the Derrick Henry X factor, as much as, again, wheels falling off, I'm not saying that he's going to have the best season. I think they have to respect that, and they don't rush as many guys as they normally would, right? Against a Ryan Tannehill, who probably makes bad decisions more often than he makes good ones. But at plus 144, at home, coming off a loss, Chargers on the road, coming off a loss, a very tough game against Miami. I'm on the Tennessee Titans here.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I literally couldn't disagree more with you right now. Yeah, Chargers -3 in a fucking blowout. This is one of my locks. I mean, this is just the Tennessee Titans are bad at football. I'm sorry. They have a good defense. They have a good run game. Did you watch Ryan Tannehill last week? Did you?
I didn't need to because I knew they were going to cover. I didn't have to watch him play.
You should have watched because he looked like Matt Ryan on the Colts, but like 10 times worse. Like he just looked like an old, decrepit, crippled, slow. Did I already say old, just bag of biscuits? Like I don't know. Like
bag of biscuits.
He just was so bad. I mean, the Titans should have won that game easily if they had a serviceable quarterback. If they go with Ryan Tannehill this week, I like this all the way up to like -5. I'm that confident in the Chargers. I know it's like a possible letdown spot. Obviously, they had that tough game against the Dolphins, but that was a shootout. They put up points, and I know that the Titans are not going to be able to score with the Chargers. Like I just know that for a fact. So, yeah, I'm rolling Chargers -3 here. I guess this is going to be our grudge match of the week because I feel very strongly about this.
Caveat, 68% of the money right now coming in on the Chargers, but also, if you're not aware, Austin Eckler, questionable as of right now with an ankle injury.
Josh McKay looked good.
I mean,
he did.
I agree. He did look good, but I think that, again, against this defense, I don't think he does as much as
And Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both survived the game.
They did survive
They both
week
survived
one.
week one. So
They did survive
I'm all
week
in.
one. Do they get injured week 2, though?
No, they're more like week 4, week 5 injury kind of
all
guys.
right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. Moving on to the shit game of the week, the Indianapolis Colts are on the road against the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are home dogs +1, Mikey. It's pretty close to a pick 'em, +106 on the money line. 40 is the total. Playing in the Dome. Both teams last week didn't cover. But out of the two teams, I will say the Indianapolis Colts impressed me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I'm rolling with the Colts here. I'm glad you reckon. I like that. I mean, they did look good. Anthony Richardson looks like he belonged in the league, which some of the other rookie quarterbacks that played last week definitely can't say. He looked like the moment wasn't too big for him. He was just playing against a better team. You know, he's a young quarterback. They were never going to win that game, but I like the way they played. And the Texans, not for nothing, they didn't play terrible against the Ravens. We'll get to the Ravens later. But they didn't show me that they could make any real noise against anybody. But I like the Colts here. I like the Colts a lot.
Yeah, honestly, this is going to be one that I contemplate locking up, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
For as shitty of a game as it is, I just think that if you looked at the two rookie quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson completely outperformed and outplayed a CJ Stroud, right? What happens next? Texans don't get anything easier of an assignment in terms of defense. I know, obviously, the Colts just let up 31 points to the Jags, but it's not exactly the same type of offense. I do think the Colts have a relatively decent defense comparative to the Ravens. You saw what the Texans did to the Ravens last week. I think that this is like a smash spot. I think that the Colts finally get their first win, and I love the -1 here. Moving on, we mentioned the Baltimore Ravens coming off their victory of the Houston Texans. Well, they're on the road this week, Mikey, against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals, on the other hand, just shit their ever-living fucking pants. Joe Burrow, not sure what happened, bud, but it's time to figure it out because you are hosting what could possibly be a juggernaut here in the AFC this year. Bengals, despite the loss, -3.5 at home, -174 on the money line, 46 is the total. Ravens, Mikey, dealing with some injuries here. J.K. Dobbins out for the season, Achilles tear. Free safety Marcus Williams as well, a little bit banged up. And their offensive line not looking too hot there. Starting tackle, Pro Bowler tackle, questionable along with their center. Did the injuries catch up with the Ravens here? Are they in a bad spot on the road against a team looking to really show up and show out and prove that they're capable?
Yeah. Listen, the Bengals were my smash play last week. They just straight up did not get off the bus. It was terrible to watch. I lost so much fucking money on the Bengals. Like, in every one of my parlays, I had a big straight bet on them. Like, it was just demoralizing from start to finish that they were never in the game. And Joe Burrow looked like he was still hurt, which he probably is. I feel like he definitely is, actually. That being said, I'm fucking riding with the Bengals here again. Like, I feel like you have to. Like, there's no way that they could play that bad again. Their defense really didn't play that bad. Yes, the Browns won handedly, but the first half, they were in the game. They just crumbled under the pressure of having no help from their offense at all. Like, they were constantly in bad field position, on the field for, like, I felt like the whole fucking game, the Bengals were going 3-0. It was so bad. But all that being said, like, the Bengals are a good team. Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. They're not going to play as bad as they did. And conversely, the Ravens, they beat the Texans and they covered, 25-9, whatever. But if you watch the game, like, they didn't look that great. Like you said, they're very banged up already. Week 1, they're in a new offense. Lamar Jackson is still kind of finding his way in this new offense, a new system. I think this is a good spot for the Bengals. If they don't show up this week, though, dead to me for the rest of the year. I'll bet against them every single game. I don't care what the line is. I don't care what the spread is. I don't care if the other team doesn't have a quarterback. If they only go out there with 10 people, I will fucking bet against the Bengals no matter what if they don't play good this week.
Fair enough. I'm going back to the wall with you, though. So
okay, I like that.
I'm going back to the wall with you at -3.5. I'd like to see this line move in the opposite direction a little bit. I think it will, in my opinion, because 63%, like I said, are on the Ravens right now. I think that you can see the line adjust maybe as low as 2.5. I don't think it gets that low, but I'd rather feel way more comfortable at the 3 than 3.5. Either way, 3.5, 3, you name it, I take it. I got it this week. Give me the fucking Bengals. I'm telling you right now, Joe Burrow, that was the worst game he has ever played in his entire career. And he is way too good of a quarterback to fuck shit up for me, for you, and everybody else fucking watching this right now for 2 weeks in a row. And if he does, you're right. He's shipped off to fucking Epstein Island.
He's got a lot of money.
Fuck him.
He's got a lot of fucking money.
Goodbye. Bon voyage. Joe fucking Burrow. Figure it out this week because we need you, buddy. We fucking need you.
Tape that ankle up and let's fucking go.
I really think that, also, kudos to the Browns. They're a good team. And in my opinion, I think that this division is actually better than the AFC East. I think this is the best division in football, in my opinion. Good defenses, really good offenses. You saw it last week. They got in a tough spot. They possibly underestimated the Browns, in my opinion, with a look-ahead spot here against the Ravens. I think that was a huge factor, in my opinion. I think they take care of business here. Week 2. Give me the -3.5. Fucking Joe Burrow, you better show up.
I swear to God.
Moving on, Kansas City Chiefs trying to rebound off of Week 1 loss against the Detroit Lions. They're on the road here, Mikey, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kansas City Chiefs are favored, though, at -3. Jacksonville Jaguars, home dogs, +144 on the money line for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Highest total on the slate, 51.5. A lot of fantasy points to be had in this one, I'm assuming.
Hopefully.
Calvin Ridley.
Look good.
Look great. I'm a big Calvin Ridley fan. I mean, he really, really impressed me and impressed a lot of people, in my opinion. I think everybody already knew what they were going to be getting with him, but to see him physically back there on the field, just fucking
shit
being
up.
him,
Angry.
He's him.
Yeah.
It was nice to see. With that being said, though, Kansas City Chiefs get back Travis Kelce. That's like the biggest X factor, in my opinion, between last game and this game, right? The defense last game was actually pretty good. Like we had mentioned before, the Lions didn't exactly impress me and jump off the paper for a team that was probably a top 3 offense last year, right? In the Lions.
Yeah.
So I think the Jaguars, as much as they're my team, I love the Jaguars. They're a home dog here, so a lot of people I think are gonna be on them. I think the Chiefs getting back Kelce is just going to change everything in this game. And on top of that, they better fucking bench Kadarius Toney.
All right, so you're going Chiefs?
I'm going Chiefs -3.
Okay. So this one I was thinking about on the way over here. The Chiefs is the right play. There's no doubt about it. I feel like I'm in my own brain. Like my brain's like the two elves on the shelf, fucking good elf, bad elf. Like take the Chiefs if you're smart. But my heart tells me Jags. They looked really good. They weren't playing a good team, which we need to understand. They're playing the Colts who, yes, they played really well, but they're like not that good of a team. Chiefs get Kelsey back. Everything points Chiefs. I'm going Jags.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going. I'm zagging.
So we're swapping this week a little bit.
Yeah.
You're on the Jags. I'm off the Jags.
Yep.
All right. I mean, fair enough. I just looked at how much, Patrick Mahomes kept that game alive, really, and how he moved in the pocket that game. And I just think to myself, now he just doesn't have to do that. Now he can just literally throw it to Kelsey every play, and it just draws so much attention off everybody else. It affects the running game. It affects a lot of different things, in my opinion.
Well, do you think Kelsey is going to be 100% healthy though, or do you think he's going to be limited?
I think he's going to be 100% healthy. It was a bad knee bruise, I think, correct?
I thought he hyperextended his knee.
No, it was a bone bruise. It was like a bad bone bruise.
All right. Better.
I mean, I think he's going to be fine. I really do. The total, 51.5, I know that's a high total, but in this game, it's low-hanging fruit. There's going to be a shootout.
I agree.
It's going to be an absolute fucking shootout.
I hope it is. I hope it's a good game.
That was a great game.
This is going to be a fun one to watch. No matter what side you're on, it's going to be a fun game.
Where are you going to be for the game? 1 o'clock, Sunday?
Don't know.
I'm going to be on my fucking couch, and I'm going to be shaking my little booty, just rooting for the Chiefs this week because -3, I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
49ers coming off a big win against the Steelers last week, just absolutely trounced the Steelers at
bad.
They played in Pittsburgh, correct?
Yep.
30-7. They are on the road this week against the Los Angeles Rams. Sorry, mouthful right now. +8 are the Rams home dogs. +280 in the money line. 44 is the total. Mikey coming off a big win against the Seattle Seahawks last week of their own. Put up big points, 30. Also, where are you at?
Yeah, I actually really love the Rams here. Like, actually, I love the Rams here, and I'll tell you why. The Seahawks, not the Seahawks. The 49ers absolutely demolished the Steelers. Like, big fucking egg on my face. They're dead to me, too. They're like the Bengals. They just straight up didn't get off the bus. I don't know what happened there. Usually a Mike Tomlin coach team is prepared. They were not ready to play football. That being said, 49ers played really good. Brock Purdy played well. But the Rams, I feel like the Rams are not getting enough respect. Everyone expected them to be really bad. Everyone talk about their defense is old. Their offense is old. They're over the hump. They're going to have to strip it down and rebuild. Like, is McVay going to leave? The fact of the matter is McVay stayed, and I don't think he's the type of coach to stay and not think that his team can be good. So I think that the Rams fully expected to go and beat down the Seattle Seahawks, which they did. And I think they're going to hang in this game with the 49ers. I think the 8 points at home is a lot of points. And I can see the 49ers winning this game, obviously, but 8 is too many. It should be like 4.5, 5 in my opinion. So for that reason, I'm going with the Rams. I hope they don't fucking prove me wrong and get blown out. But yeah, I'm going with the Rams.
So for me, I have so much uncertainty with this spread that I'm staying so far away from the spread.
Weird number.
But one thing I love, this is probably one of my favorite plays of the entire slate, is the total. I think 44 here, as good as the 49ers defense is, the Rams showed they were capable. They showed they can put up points, even against a relatively, if not good, defense in the Seattle Seahawks. I think 44 is like low-hanging fruit. I'm not walking and running to this total. 49ers are going to put a boatload of points as well. This could very well also be a shootout. I think this might even have the possibility of the highest scoring game on the slate, despite the Chiefs-Jaguars having the highest predicted total. So yeah, I'm absolutely smashing the over 44 in this game. Moving on, we have our second game of the 4 o'clock slate here. Giants on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. Giants are favored -4.5. 39.5 is a total. Giants, will you wake up, please? Because last week you were totally fucking asleep. Didn't even show up to the game. 40-0. I mean, you might as well not even play at that point. Daniel Jones looked like shit. Graham Gano, fuck you. You gave me 0 points in fantasy. I don't know what the fuck's happening. I don't know what's going on, Mikey.
You get out of the Kickers League. You get the Kickers out of your leagues.
I mean, I'm well aware of that, but unfortunately I'm not commish. So I'm stuck with Graham Gano. Will he put up points this week? Will the fucking Giants put up points this week?
I mean, they're going to score. Will they score enough to beat the fucking lowly Cardinals? We'll see. I'm gonna roll with them. I don't love this play. I probably won't bet it, but I will lean to the Giants here. Like you said, I mean, it can't get fucking worse, can it? I mean, the Dan Jones can't fucking play worse. The defense can't play worse. Special teams can't play worse, I think. So in that case, like they're going to regress closer to the mean. How high is that mean? We'll see. But they are playing the lowly Cardinals. You know, Dobbs looked okay.
I told you.
You were right.
He's a formidable NFL quarterback in this league, especially on a team that has dog shit for options for him. I think that if you put him on the Tennessee Titans last year, he played very well. He played well enough anyways.
Yeah, he's good. I will give you that. I will concede he is better than I thought he was. But he, like you just nailed it on the head. Like they don't have much around him. That defense is porous. They're tanking, so like there's incentive for them to fucking lose and get Caleb Williams. So yeah, I think the Giants cover here. You know, they're going on the road. They need to win this game, because if they don't, their season is in jeopardy for being just like a fucking terrible year.
Do you want a hot take right now? Calamari will be a New York Jet within the coming weeks, in my opinion. I think that if they are in full tank mode, like you mentioned, they want Caleb Williams. The relationship between Cliff Kingsbury, Calamari, and the Arizona Cardinals as a whole is so unbelievably dysfunctional and toxic that they would be stupid to just not unload him at this point. They could get a lot of draft capital for a very desperate team that needs a quarterback now. 4 weeks, he's on the PUP list. He can't come off that. Gives him an extra couple weeks potentially to learn the offense before actually being acclimated into the lineup. So with that being said,
I like this
live. I think that Calamari is actually going to be the next quarterback of the New York Jets. So if you can find that on your sports book, I'd bet it, in my opinion. Moving on to the actual game at hand, I think the New York Giants actually, unfortunately, as much as I want to take the Cardinals here, handle them pretty convincingly. I think it's a big bounce back spot.
I hope so.
You know, as much as I just absolutely shit all over the Giants, I think that the Cardinals are going to have a very difficult time in this game. Give me the Giants minus 4.5. Like you said, not necessarily betting this game, but we got to hit it because, well, we're on the DJ podcast, and that's what we do. Moving on to a bigger, better game, in my opinion. The New York Jets coming off a huge win without Aaron Rodgers against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are home in this matchup, minus 7.5 on the spread, 41.5 on the total. Mikey, my first inclination is go to the team that, well, looked better, right, as a whole, the Dallas Cowboys. And then I think to myself, well, did the Jets really look that bad against team that we thought underperformed in the Bills, but nevertheless a good team in the Bills? The Jets defense, I'm telling you, is going to...
It's a top 5 defense.
They're going to intercept Dak Prescott 3 times or more in this game. This is going to be an absolute turnover machine of a game between both sides. Between both sides.
I mean, if there's like a both teams over total, like 6.5, I feel like there's going to be... in this
but
game,
to have a spread so big against a defense that's so good, and I mean, for as bad as Wilson is, he has a lot of weapons. You saw Breece Hall, absolute man-child out there.
That dude's got wheels. That dude has wheels.
Yeah, he probably takes that to the house if he just doesn't run on the gas. 83 yards inside of his own end zone and just doesn't skip a beat. He's a machine. So between the running prowess of the Jets, their defense, this is going to be a grinded out game. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys have the grinded out attitude or mentality in that locker room, especially when Dak starts throwing picks left and right and starts creeping towards that total of 10 picks. Give me the fucking New York Jets plus 7.5 all day.
Yeah, I thought you were going to disagree, but I'm with you. Like, I'm with you on this. Obviously, Zach Wilson is not a good quarterback and not as good as Aaron Rodgers. I don't think I'm
in the minority
thinking that, or reinventing the wheel, or breaking any news with that. But yeah, for all the reasons you just described, I mean, the Jets defense is elite. Their special teams, I think we saw. I mean, they hit their kicks. Obviously, they had the punt return for the win. Like, their special teams, I bet, is better than Dallas. I didn't see really much out of Dallas. So yeah, I'm rolling with the Jets here. I don't think they're going to win the game. I mean, I think we both probably agree on that. But like you said, this spread is way too big for a defensive battle. I kind of like the under here as well. I know it's a low total, but this feels like it's a very low scoring game to me.
Yeah, I think that both offenses, like I said, they struggle, and there's a lot of turnovers. It's a turnover battle of a game.
Yeah, field goals. A lot of field goals in this game.
I'm very excited to watch this game. Back-to-back weeks, I'm excited to watch the Jets. So we'll look to see how that ends up panning out. Moving on, Washington Commanders, they won last week. Did not cover the spread though. No. Against the Arizona Cardinals, like most thought. Taking on the Denver Broncos, who also upset a lot of people last week. Losing to the Raiders. They are at home though, taking on the Washington Commanders, -3.5 on the spread, 39.5 on the total. Mikey Rom, are you with Big Russ here? Are you with Mr. Unlimited, or are you just considering him fade god now and we're all over the
Mr.
Commanders?
Limited. He's Mr. Limited, but I mean the Commanders offense, what the fuck happened? Come on. You're playing the lowly Cardinals. I
told you, Sam Howell wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for the moment. He's not ready for the moment.
I think he fell into the same trap as all the other kind of first-year quarterback. He wasn't ready. You're right. But I think he'll be ready this week. I think they'll be better. I think their offense will be better. I also think the Broncos' offense will probably be better. Jerry Jeudy probably coming back this week, hopefully. They still have good like Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. They got Javonte Williams in the backfield. The ghost of Russell Wilson. Who knows? Maybe he can turn it on for a game. Maybe he can. I don't love the points here. I'm just going to roll with the over because it's a super low number. But this is probably going to be a not bet this game or even watch it. But since we have to pick every game, I'm going over just for fun. It's fake.
Yeah, I'm taking the Commanders +3.5 solely for the fact that Russell Wilson just is proving time and time again he is not who we all thought. You are not who we thought you were. I just like that lady of the plane. That man is not real. Like he's just a fucking mirage of what he used to be. Like he's like living in the same body, but he's not the same quarterback. And I'm sorry, but I mean Sean Payton. I mean for a guy that talked a lot of fucking smack to a lot of fucking people. What happened? What happened?
By the way, what happened to Sean Payton? I feel like he was not like this on the Saints. I feel like he was like very not reserved, but like
respectable.
He did have fucking Bountygate, which I guess looking back kind of seems like a kind of a dick now.
Yeah, it didn't work out so high for you there, Sean.
But like I feel like he's like maybe the Saints had him like on lockdown or something. Like I feel like he's just straight wilding out with his comments these days.
Yeah, well, they're firing back at him because he's got major egg on his face after a week 1 loss to not exactly the best team in the league, not exactly the best coach in the league, and the Raiders. So I'm taking the Washington Commanders +3.5. Moving on to the Patriots. They showed up against the Eagles. They didn't win. They didn't cover the spread, but they showed up. Mac Jones showed me a little something. Kendrick Bourne showed me a little something. The defense looked really, really good.
Defensive line looked great.
Look great. Yes, I will use the great word with the defensive line of the New England Patriots. They're at home, coming off a loss, +2 against the Miami Dolphins, who just lit up the scoreboard against the Los Angeles Chargers. +116 on the money line are the New England Patriots. 47.5 is the total, Mikey. I mean, the people here out in New England are really praying for a win after a tough loss to the Eagles. I don't know if they're going to get it here. I don't know. Where are you at?
Yeah, so I think the Patriots, I think we agree, played better than most people thought they were going to play. What bothers me, I don't know, around people saying moral victory. Like it's a moral victory. Oh, it's a moral. No, we lost. We should have won that game. We had the opportunity to win, but they have an opportunity to bounce back against, admittedly, very scary Dolphins team. Tua looks like Tua. We'll see how long that lasts. I hope he stays healthy for the year. I hope he, doesn't get hurt again, obviously. But I think the Patriots pass rush is going to get to him. I think that the Eagles' offensive line is decent, pretty good. I would say top half of the league. And I don't think the Dolphins' offensive line is that great. That being said, I think they're going to get to Tua. And if you can get to Tua, you kind of knock him off his game. I think he's going to be kind of running for his life a little bit. Obviously, their weapons scare me. Tyreek Hill is I like the dude. He runs around, and I don't understand how people don't tackle him. I know it sounds dumb, but like he just like it's just running around. Looks like a little fucking midget running around, and no one's even like within 5 yards of him. He's that fat. It's insane to me. So he scares me. Waddle obviously scares me as well. The Dolphins' defense doesn't scare me. I mean, they just got kind of tore up by the Chargers, I think.
Which the Chargers, you admittedly so that they have a very good offense. I think everybody knew going into that game it was going to be that high scoring for both sides.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the Patriots offense is the Chargers offense. I'm not saying that in any way, but I think we will score points. I think we'll get to 24-28. And hopefully that's enough. I mean, I like the Pats here. I like the money line. I'll take the points, though.
All right. Well, I'm on the other side here. Miami Dolphins, too much firepower. As good as the Patriots defense show they can be against the Eagles, I'd like to debate the fact that I think the Miami Dolphins, mouthful of words. I would debate that the Miami Dolphins offense is actually better than the Eagles offense as a whole. Obviously,
probably true.
I think the X factor in the Eagles offense is the ability for Jalen Hurts to run. They don't exactly have that with, Tua here in Miami. But with that being said, the weapons around are just as good, if not better. Surprisingly, I don't know how you can get much better than A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert and company, but I think they are, in my opinion. And I really like the Miami Dolphins here at -2. Moving on to the Monday night game. Is there 2 Monday night games?
Yeah,
this
2
week. Wow, really thrown off. Yeah, I just was not expecting that. Moving on to the first Monday night football game. New Orleans Saints on the road against the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers are +3 home dogs, +146 in the money line. 40.5 is the total. Mikey, Rom. Saints coming off a victory last week of the Tennessee Titans. Big money on the Saints this week, though. 65% of the bets. Carolina Panthers could be out with their star cornerback, though, J.C. Horn, nursing a hammy injury. That in itself is a huge, huge deciding factor. And where I'm going with this game, give me the Saints -3, simply because if he's not in, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, and others going to have a day.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like this is an easy play, potentially a square play, but I think the right play. Bryce Young out of all the rookie quarterbacks, he looked the worst. I think he seemed a little scared out there. As crazy as that is to say, I'm sure he's not. But
deer in the headlights look.
Yeah, he looked I don't want to say scared. He didn't look scared. He looked unsettled. He did not look settled in. It looked like he never got really settled. And I think it's going to take him 4 or 5 weeks to kind of really get comfortable. I mean, a lot of expectations. Obviously, the kid is extremely talented, but I don't think the team around him is very good. And that's not a good formula for a quarterback that's having a tough time. So I like the Saints here. I like Derek Carr, second week in the Saints system. Obviously, there was a few things off last week. I don't think he played as good as he thought he can play. But I think he's going to get better with time as he gets more comfortable in New Orleans and in that offense. So the Saints are an easy pick for me here. It's probably a square pick. The Panthers will probably win by 30, but I'm going to roll with the Saints.
Moving on to the final game on the slate, Mikey. Another Monday Night Football matchup. A very appetizing one, to say the least. Cleveland Browns on the road in divisional matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers +1.5 home dogs. A lot of home dogs this week, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of home dogs this week. 40.5 is the total. Browns coming off a absolute I don't need to call it anymore. Of the Bengals, 24-3. Steelers in the hand, not so much luck against the 49ers, losing 30-7, Mikey. A lot of the bets coming in on the Browns as of right now. But with that being said, I think it might be the right side just based off of how good their defense is comparative to the 49ers. I think that pass rush gets after Kenny Pickett. Deontay Johnson also questionable now to out. Yes, that hammy. I think that's a huge X factor. It's going to draw a lot more attention to George Pickens, taking away another option there for Kenny Pickett, allowing the pass rush to get to him that much faster. I think the Cleveland Browns showed that they have a relatively decent offense. Watson played well, didn't play great. I think he takes a step forward this week. Give me the Browns -1.5.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Your analysis of the game very sound. For that reason,
thank you. Thank you.
So for that reason, I'm taking the Steelers here. I'm taking the Steelers because the Browns make so much sense. I don't know why the line is 1.5 for the Browns. This is a fucking rat line if I ever see one. The Steelers are very much like the Bengals of last week. They just straight up didn't get off the fucking bus. They lose Deontay Johnson, which is a huge piece of their offense. But something is just telling me in my soul, in my gut, that they're going to bounce back this week and at least make this a game. I'm going to take the Steelers here. I'll probably stay away from this game, but I don't know. I feel like that's just a rat line, so I'm going to roll with the Steelers.
Well, it's that time of the episode, Mike, who we give our lock, dog, tease, bonus lock presented to you by Cape Cod Craft Cocktails, Mikey.
Yes.
Very excited for this segment as always, but because it's an opportunity to give our listeners an opportunity to win some money and win big money. Where are you at with your first lock of the episode.
Yeah, so we kind of touched on it. The Chargers, lock them up. Are you going to lock the other way on the Chargers, or
You're gonna have to wait and see.
are we going to get a little?
Are we gonna clash?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's wait and see.
All right. Well, I'm going to lock the Chargers up. We already talked about it on length. I think they literally win by 20. Yeah, I'm locking the Chargers.
I actually, in fact, am going to lock up the 49ers Rams over a 44 total.
Love that.
I think that this game is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think that, I think it smashes here. This is a smash spot, in my opinion.
Okay.
Moving on to our dog, Mikey. You got any upsets in the card this week for us?
Yeah, I don't love any kind of big underdogs here. I'm going to roll with the Pats and be a homer. I really think that they have the opportunity to get it done against the Dolphins. It's not going to be an easy game. If the Pats are going to win this game, it's going to be ugly. There's going to be a special teams touchdown probably. There will probably be a defensive touchdown. Both those things need to break the Patriots away, but I think they might. So I'm gonna roll with the Pats here for the dog.
My dog is against your lock. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans at plus
I like
144 on the money line. Mikey, you're wrong. Give me Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans. Man, he is he's a good coach. He is a good coach. He's going to have the boys ready. Yeah, give me the Tennessee Titans as my dog.
All right, if the Titans win this game, I'll wear a clown mask next week to the pod.
Clown mask or clown paint?
I feel like it'd be easier to get a clown mask, so I'm going to go clown mask.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I'm that confident.
I can't make any bets because, it is a dog here. It is a live dog. The dogs are barking right now, in my opinion. So, teaser. Any teaser. I know you're not a teaser guy. Not Mikey tease a lot.
Yeah, Mikey, not a teaser guy.
Would you like me to tip off first before?
I think I got one I like.
All right.
So I know I took the Vikings +7. I'm going to tease the Eagles down to -3 because I think that I'm going for the Goldilocks zone here with them. And I'm going to tease the Rams up to +11.
Okay. I like it. I do like that. All right. So my teaser is going to be the Indianapolis Colts +2.5. The New Orleans Saints -1, and the Green Bay Packers +2.5.
I like that.
I feel like that's a lot more easier of a play than what I had last week for my teaser.
One was confusing last week.
Yeah, one last week was you needed a pie chart or a bar graph or whatever you want to say, a spreadsheet. All right, bonus lock time.
Yeah, Packers. I really like the Packers here.
So
I think they probably win this game easily.
So because I also had them as my second bonus lock, I'm going to give you guys a extra lock this week.
Okay.
I could sense the Packer pick coming. So my bonus lock on top of the Packer pick is Indianapolis Colts -1.
Ooh.
I like the Colts this week. I do.
That's a little survival pool lock right there.
That is shout out Survivor Pool because week 1 had Minnesota Vikings on my DraftKings, my DK line, $100 to win a milli. I was already counting those bands, baby. Hey, what kind of whip am I getting? Psych. Fuck us. Fuck the Minnesota Vikings. They fucking stomped on that shit a long time ago, aka last week. Good episode in the books. Any final thoughts, concerns, anything in regards to week 2?
I'm concerned I could go 0-4 on my mortal locks. That's very concerning to me. That's probably like I want to lose sleep about that. If that happens.
So along with the clown mask,
I'll wear a dunce hat as well.
Can we get a Fade God shirt made for you?
We might have to get a Fade Mikey Rom shirt.
Yeah, Mikey Fade Gods.
Yeah, Christ, please, God, please.
I'll say a prayer for you tonight.
Thank
I will.
you.
I promise you. It'll be good for the podcast if you hit. So.
It'll be good for the podcast if I don't.
Yeah. Well, either way, we appreciate you guys. Week 2, NFL coming at you. Picks in the books. As always, this podcast presented to you by Cape Cod Craft Cocktails. Guys, go get your variety pack today. You can't decide which flavor. Well, no problems anymore because they have you covered here in the variety pack. All 4 flavors, 8 cans, 2 of each. Sipping all NFL Sunday long. Moving on to our next sponsor, Sunday Swagger. Use that promo code DGEN15 to get 15% off your entire bag at checkout. And last but not least, Sleeper. Go to the App Store, download the app, use that promo code RF-DGEN podcast on the Sleeper Picks portion of the app. You're going to get 100% deposit match on your first deposit up to $100, Mikey. Mikey, are you going to put a sleepers picks in this week? Because I know I am. I was close last week. I didn't put it out, but I was close.
Yeah, I mean, you've been ripping the parlays and sleepers I've been seeing. So
I am up big on sleeper app right now. And if you guys, as a DGen Mafia, we'll call it, have been following, then you're up big too, like $4,000 pick. So that's the podcast. Till next time, everybody. We out. Peace.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates at a place to call